Ready for this 2018 season to get going. I mean, we've had a pretty good August camp. We practiced hard, prepared hard, had a lot of good times together. We're trying to build our football program, develop our players both mentally and physically, and how we practice and how we play. And I think we've got a great opener. I think we've got a certain amount of excitement that leads up to our Kennesaw State game this Thursday at 7 o'clock. But all in all, it's been a good camp. So we'll have to see just what happens, but we're ready to go.
Thank you, Coach. Our first questions come from Whitney Hayworth with the Sunbelt Digital Network. Please go ahead, Whitney.
Coach, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Pretty good. Excited for this week to get going, obviously. And, you kind of just mentioned, obviously, the opener. It's an exciting time. And for Georgia State to play Kennesaw State on Thursday night and be able to have, all kinds of eyes on them, especially in the city of Atlanta, how big of a game is that for the city and potentially, to become potentially a rivalry game and something to look forward to?
Well, first of all, I mean, it's the opening contest of our 2018 season, so it's a big contest in general. I wouldn't consider this a rivalry game, seeing how we've never played before. I know the proximity of the schools are close, and we have some players that know one another, but by my imagination, by my stretch of imagination, this is not a rivalry. It's, of course, a little bit bigger because it's a Thursday night contest. They're a very good opponent. They've had a successful run in the 3 or 4 years that they've been in existence, and I'm sure they're excited to come down here and play against us. But I think all openers have a certain amount of attention that you have to prepare for and you have to play for, and they're all big. It doesn't matter how you start your season, with what opponent you start it with. That first game is always an electric moment that you've anticipated all summer, and you're ready to go.
A lot of people say that, you make the biggest leap and the biggest changes from year one to year two. So for you individually as a head coach, how have you seen yourself grow since this time last year?
Well, I think certainly being a first-year head coach, you have to understand how you communicate with your staff on game day. I thought as the season progressed a year ago, we all communicated much better, both offensively, defensively, and kicking, where we, whether it be a staff member on the offense knowing when to speak and make a suggestion, or whether it's myself kind of butting in and saying, hey, we need to do this or that. But we've grown as a staff. We've grown in communication the same way our football team has in playing. If you watched us a year ago, I mean, really after our first contest, we start to see real strong development in our football team throughout the course of the season. Then, ultimately with the end winning that Cure Bowl, and hopefully the same thing's going to occur this year.
And obviously when you and I spoke at Media Day, you couldn't dive too deep into anything in particular, but what have you been most impressed by with your team so far in fall camp leading up to this week's game?
Well, one of the most important things I think that our team has done this year is they've understood how we need to go out and practice. They understand the physical nature of our practices, the concentration, the effort, the enthusiasm. We as coaches really didn't have to keep preaching that this year. They knew what to expect. Our older guys have taken great leadership. I think that's one of the areas that our team has really grown in. I think our leadership is really, really good at this point in time, and guys respect our leaders and our captains. And they kind of know what we're fixing to go into and knowing what to expect.
Well, Coach, thank you very much. I know you've got a long day ahead of you, a long week, so I look forward to it, and best of luck this season.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Whitney. Our next questions come from Andrew Doty with Hero Sports. Andrew, please go ahead.
Good morning, Coach. I really appreciate the time this morning. Over the last couple of years, some FBS head coaches have said that it might be necessary for an FBS commissioner to oversee things for all 10 conferences, determine what's best for the entire FBS, consistency with scheduling, officiating, etc. And as somebody who's been in the game a long time, both in the Power 5, Group of 5, as an assistant, head coach, interim coach, have you given any thought to an FBS commissioner, any opinion on if you think a commissioner is necessary for the sport?
Listen, I haven't considered one thing with that, man. I'm trying to win a ball game. We've got some other people around here that need to start thinking about that, some athletic directors and things of that nature. I'm trying to go defeat 11 individuals on defense as we speak.
All right, Coach. I appreciate it. Have a good week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you, Coach. We do appreciate your time today. That's all the questions we have for you, and best of luck Thursday night.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, and that will conclude this week's teleconference. We'd like to thank everyone for joining us. If we can be of any assistance, please feel free to reach out to the Sun Belt Conference Communications Department. A copy of this will be posted later today on sunbeltsports.org and the Sun Belt's YouTube channel. And thank you again for joining us, and we hope everybody has a great week and safe travels. 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 Safe travels.